Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Bankers Association, Dr. Habib Olaka, the Chief Executive Officer of the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, Mr. Mohammed Awer, here represented by Jackson Kiplagat, the Chairman of CIS Kenya, Mr. Charles Ringera, the CEO of CIS Kenya, Mr. Jared Getenga, the Senior Financial Sector Specialist with the Africa Finance, Innovation and Competitiveness Global Practice at the World Bank, Mr. Tilasoni Benjamin Musuku, who will be giving us the first presentation later in the day, the Director, KSMS, Credit Reference Bureaus, Fintechs, banks, all key partners. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the 4th Regional Credit Information Sharing Conference, focusing on systemization of fintech disruption in Africa. It's a 2-day conference with a 3-day training on credit risk scorecard development and implementation and problem loan management training. The drive and aim is that we may look at reducing overexposure, reducing over-indebtedness for borrowers, and reducing debt stress for the economy. We'll be enjoying presentations and panel discussions through the next 2 days. But it is my honor and privilege right now for the formal welcome to this conference to introduce and welcome the Chief Executive Officer of CIS Kenya, Mr. Jared Getenga, to address you. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, and the other chief guests that have been invited, and resource persons and participants. Mine will be less formal. I'll be inviting the guests of honor to make the formal welcome. But we just want to appreciate that you have all been able to come today. And indeed, for the next few days, when we shall embark on conversations regarding the current trends and the emerging issues in our credit market and how they interrelate with the credit information sharing that we have been challenged to help grow. On behalf of the Kenya School of Monetary Studies, and I am aware that the leadership of the School of Monetary Studies is in the room, I'd like to welcome you all. We sit here, the CIS Kenya sits here at the School of Monetary Studies, and so I'm taking the privilege to welcome you on behalf of the leadership of the school, Joshua Kimoro, the director, and his team of managers. I want to welcome you here. I want to make special mention of a few people that have supported us in our journey on credit reporting over time, and we want to appreciate Justice Ochieng is right here. Justice Ochieng is one of the people who have been really a diligent supporter of our mechanism. He, especially during his days as the head of the commercial courts, he was the presiding judge and head of the Admiralty Division. He stayed very close to us because he was concerned that the mechanism that had just been started a few years needed to demonstrate a lot of credibility, because disputes that arise from data sharing needed to be addressed, if possible, out of court. And he assisted us in the launch of our ADR center that is currently assisting on a pro bono basis to resolve disputes out of court. And we are extremely encouraged. If Justice, you could kindly just stand up. We want to appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Justice, you have been a mentor to us on areas of mediation. I took the challenge when I noticed his enthusiasm in that area. I trained as a mediator judge. I've never told you that, so that I could remove a number of matters out of the court system. And that has been very rewarding to us at Tatua Center. He will be speaking to us later in the afternoon. I just thought I'd make a special mention of him. Just another quick special mention is that a few weeks ago we had a workshop with the World Bank and the SASRA, the SACCO Society Regulatory Authority, where we were looking at the way forward for SACCO involvement in credit information sharing. And I was kind of humbled when the opening remarks by the CEO of the SASRA made reference to the father of credit reporting in Kenya. I didn't know whom he was talking about until he mentioned my name, and I was tempted to look for a mirror and just check how long my beard would be as a father of credit reporting. But then today I really want to introduce the father of credit reporting in Africa, who has been a mentor to our program here in Kenya. And fortunately, he has the right beard for a father. Rashid, are you in the room? Rashid is right at the back there. He will be here. And thank you, Rashid. But for every father, there is a grandfather. And the grandfather for credit reporting in Africa, as we understand, is actually Habrel Davel, seated right at the corner. That he's declining that recognition. Kindly, Habrel, if you could rise up. I know you don't have a long beard, but I met those two when they were at the National Credit Regulator several years ago. Habrel as the first CEO, the founding CEO of the authority. And they have been our mentors here for a long time. But back home, we actually have our own real, I think I should call him the uncle of credit reporting in Kenya. And that's none other than James Kashangaki, right near the door there. James really weaned us at CIS Kenya. Probably he survived the labor pangs, although he's masculine, but he had to see us grow from nothing to where we are today, and we really want to appreciate him. Very quickly now, I'll just thank the regulators from the region who found their way here. Central Bank of Kenya kindly agreed to invite some of the regional central banks, and I know that in the room we have the Bank of Uganda, the Bank of Tanzania, the Bank of Rwanda, and the Bank of Zimbabwe. We are thankful that they were able to come for this conference. But we can't fail to mention Ben Musuku from the World Bank, who has extremely been supportive of our project here as well. He's new to the region, but he's very well appraised of our progress. And I know working with the World Bank and the National Treasury and the Central Bank, we are expecting to launch some big project in the next few months on awareness of the public in this area. And so we continue to look up to some support from the World Bank in this area. We have our own neighbor within KSMS here, Saleh Usman Gashua, the Secretary General of Africa. Thank you. We'd like to appreciate you as well. We have in the room fintechs who, for the first time in our conferences, we are focusing a little more on the emerging technologies around lending and the implications of those practices to credit information. I want to appreciate Tala, Branch, who are part of this conference, Pezesha, MobiPesa, Okash, Alternative Circle, Chama Pesa, and others that I may not have picked. A number of banks are in the room, MFIs and DFIs. The bureaus with whom we started this journey. I know that we have with us TransUnion, Billy Owino, Credit Info, Steve Kunyiha, Metropole, Sam Omukoko, regional bureaus like CompuScan, I know should be represented in the room. Mike Malan should be here. I know that TransUnion's Janine from South Africa is in the room. I have just seen Agatha, Credit Info, welcome. So the bureaus have been a central part of all these processes, and we would like to ensure that they are comfortable in the room. They will be participating in this conference in a big way. So without further ado, I just want now to welcome our chairman, the chairman of CIS Kenya, who is Charles Rigera. At the same time, he is the CEO of the Higher Education Loans Board, to take over for the formal opening of the conference so that he can do a formal welcome, and then we shall have the other speakers coming along. Thank you, Chair.